thought a man who gets up at 5 every morning to simmer pork, drives the kids to school, and even squeezes tooth is actually the NIS's top ace agent in South Korea. And even crazier than that. Detective wife, who slams criminals, has no idea that the husband she shared a bed with for once took down an entire arms trafficking ring until a bizarre forces this least likely spy couple to join forces against a shocking conspiracy powerful enough to shake South Korea. On the streets of Seoul, Kang Moo-jung, expertly, after dropping off the students, he rushes straight home, cleans the house, and in the neighbor's eyes, he's just a house husband living off. But his wife is the infamous crocodile detective of Seoul. She cracks cases fast and hits hard. Even her own team barely dares to breathe around right from the start. The film, one catches criminal, one takes care of the grocery, but the more ordinary someone seems, the bigger. One day, strangely, she was wearing a bullet and somehow, all the surveillance footage at the scene had been damaged. Not a single useful clue. The seasoned Miss An immediately realized this was no ordinary. To protect the only, she deliberately announced that the woman had died. Meanwhile, the area around the hospital, but what she didn't know, an even bigger storm was already closing in.
기자들한테 피해자 병원으로 이송 도중에 사망했다고 흘려.
아직 살아있는데요.
피해자가 옥상에서 떨어졌는데 확인 사살까지 한 놈들이야. 근데 피해자가 살아있다는 거 알면 그 새끼들 가만히 있겠냐?
That night, Jung-woo ran into his former colleague. She was heavily pregnant, and behind her was a group of men in black. Just as she was about to be, Jung-woo's eyes changed in an instant. The gentle house husband from moments ago was gone. In his place stood an elite agent who once struck fear into countless and with a few swift, precise moves. The whole thing took less than a minute, and this was also the first time Jung-woo's true identity was. It turned out that Kim Ji-young was once Jung-woo's most trusted partner, but now he had mysteriously even more troubling. They were investigating a massive corruption case involving top figures in South. Kim Jong-san, who was taken by a mysterious force, and Zhang Shiju was hunted because of it. Jung-woo wanted to but when he saw the photo left behind by his he fell silent. One wrong decision had nearly wiped out the entire team. That guilt had weighed on him ever since. This time. Meanwhile, Misan's co-worker mistakenly thinks Jung-woo is following him. After that whole string of Misan may not say it out loud, but deep down, here, giving this serious spy story a touch more everyday family. The scariest thing between a husband and wife, it's the hiding.
미친 소리들 하고 있어 이 새끼들이 진짜.
진짜야?
As the investigation goes deeper, the truths inside South Korea's defense, someone is using military procurement to launder. The amount involved is as high as to cover it. Every investigator starts meeting with one, and the one pulling the strings is a mysterious figure known as General Park. Everyone thought he was a powerful figure hiding in the but no one expected. The real hunter had already been lying low. To rescue Kim Jong, Kang Mu came up with an unbelievable plan. He drove a sewage truck crawled through pretended to be crazy, then used the ventilation ducts to get. This sequence is easily the most absurd and most brilliant. Who would have thought a top-level 8 would end up completing the infiltration? The director deliberately uses to wrap a tense high. It eases the audience's nerve while creating a powerful contrast. After a dangerous rescue mission, Kang Mu finally saves the barely alive Kim Jong. But just when everyone thought victory was certain, the real twist arrived. Jang Seo-ju was actually General, the so-called man, and the so-called plea for it was all just an elaborate trap. She used Jung-woo's guilt, closing in on the evidence. Even the mole who got her teammate killed was her too. The most dangerous hunters often show up. Look, in this moment, every bit of force. At the same time, Misan finally learned the secret her husband had hidden. For that man who wore an apron around the house was actually a legendary agent from the past. After the shock, she quickly calmed, because compared to being, she wanted to catch the bad guy, right? Husband and wife. One excels at the other is a master of tactical. This oddball duo of house husband plus finally got to fight side by side for real. The final showdown takes place in the facing a fully armed enemy. The two work. Mi-sun takes charge of the frontal assault. Kang. The strength they once kept hidden is fully unleashed, and seeing that defeat is Jang Seo. At the critical moment, Mi-sun aims her gun at the oxygen tank. As a violent explosion, this long-running conspiracy finally comes. At the end of the film, the battered husband and wife support each other as they walk out of the tunnel. No grand speech, no tearful confession, just a smile, as at last, they no longer hold any the secrets they once ultimately become the courage they need to face and all those ordinary, everyday, somehow become even more
나 아시아 넘버 2야.
What cross-border mission is that? It doesn't turn its agent into some all-powerful superhero, but brings him back to being an ordinary. He cooks. He gets nagged by his and he blames himself for mistakes he made in the past. The film wraps comedy in action and uses explosive set pieces. Those most dangerous missions all come back to one simple question in the when the truth is right, are you willing to trust the person closest to you without holding? Maybe that's the real answer the film wants to give.